Up next, Adrian Simmons stops by and tells us about his accounting firm, Elements CPA.
Yeah, our mission at Elements CPA is to help entrepreneurs design their business and their finances for what truly matters. And what that translates into is enabling them to think critically and creatively about their business model and their profit model.
Eileen Collins also stops by and educates us about electrolysis.
Electrolysis is the only form of permanent hair removal that's recognized by the FDA. The best any laser can claim is permanent hair reduction.
Stay tuned for more next.
Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. This is Around Town with the Laurel Board of Trade, where we shine a spotlight on some of the amazing local businesses and charitable organizations in our community. I'm your host, Mike Mondy, real estate consultant with Keller Williams Realty Center, and I'm also one of the directors for the Laurel Board of Trade. Thanks so much for joining us today. Now today, I'm here with Adrian Simmons of Elements CPA, a modern accounting firm dedicated to helping small businesses grow. Welcome, Adrian, and thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, Mike. Pleasure to be with you today.
My pleasure. So, Adrian, tell me, how did Elements CPA get started, and what inspired you to take a different approach from traditional firms?
Yeah, the Elements CPA was actually originally founded by my dad in 1977 here in Laurel. So I grew up in South Laurel, and he basically had a home office as a CPA and serving individuals and small businesses in the community. And as I grew up, I went to school up in Baltimore for college, got my accounting degree, worked for KPMG Baltimore for a couple of years, and then joined him in 2002. Mm-hmm. And as I like to say, we doubled in size from 1 to 2 people right away. And then I officially bought him out in 2014. And that's where we did a rebrand to Elements CPA and sort of rethought and imagined what a small accounting firm could be.
Okay. So what is the mission or core philosophy that drives what you do at Elements?
Yeah, our mission at Elements CPA is to help entrepreneurs design their business and their finances for what truly matters. And what that translates into is enabling them to think critically and creatively about their business model and their profit model. And then we support that with elegantly designed online financial technologies as well as proactive tax plans. But it's sort of all built around that core idea, though, around what truly matters. So what we help through conversations, through consulting with them, through coaching, to sort of help them winnow down what's really important to them and then have those values reflected in their business and in their non-business life.
Gotcha. Okay. So how would you say that Elements CPA serves clients differently, especially small businesses and entrepreneurs?
Yeah, some of the things we do differently than some more traditional accounting firms is, first off, we're based on a relationship model and not a transaction model. Mm-hmm. So that means the sort of the packages that we have are for a combination of things that allow us to have a relationship. So we look out over the coming year, what types of things can we assist you, whether it's business coaching, whether it's financial forecasting, whether it's tax planning, all those types of conversations, and package those together. And then we help facilitate that cadence of meetings over the course of the year. So very sort of focused that direction. One other thing we do that's different is that we don't bill by the hour, we price by the result. Mm-hmm. And so we had that conversation up front with the business owner, sort of what's the result we're trying to achieve, what's a price that allows us to achieve that, then you can say yay or nay, makes sense. We find it's better for both the business owner and for us, instead of after the fact finding out, oh, hey, if I would have known it was that much, maybe I wouldn't have done it. So that's another sort of distinction that we bring to the table.
Yeah, I like that. What's something you wish that more people understood about the role of a CPA in today's business environment?
Yeah, sometimes business owners can come to the table with a mindset that the accountant is really only historical looking, sort of help you to report financial statements that are only about what already happened a year or two or more ago, or tax returns for what happened last year. And certainly that can be part of it, but I encourage folks that if you have a CPA that's more forward-looking, that you really should be tapping into that resource to help them as you make decisions. Mm-hmm. Sometimes customers may say, "Oh, hey, by the way, Adrian, I did X, Y, Z, last month," or maybe you meet them for tax time. "Hey, last year I did this." I'm like, "I wish we would have had this conversation earlier. We could help you avoid some potholes, show you how you can structure a little bit better. So one of the things I recommend folks is to sort of reach out to your advisor earlier in the process. And the other piece of that is a CPA has also been around for a bit, has seen a lot of different businesses, has seen a lot of different scenarios come up. Mm-hmm. And so you can tap into their experience to be able to say, have you seen this before? What should I do? I always like to say, learn from mistakes, preferably somebody else's.
So do you have any advice for small business owners in Laurel who might be struggling with the financial side of their business?
Yeah, one of my first pieces of advice would be to track your business finances in a way that makes sense for making business decisions. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a pothole we see folks fall into is that their books, if you will, are structured for a tax return, or they're structured for a bank financial statement, but they're not really structured to help you, the business owner, get insight into how your business is operating. Mm-hmm. We believe that a business's profit model should reflect its business model. How does that business create, deliver, and capture value? Let's then articulate that in sort of how we're capturing the financial information, because we need the feedback from those financial results to say, hey, is what we're doing working? Do we need to adapt? And so then having that series of adaptations. Sometimes also another thing is small business owners, they may not, one, they'll try to manage their business from their bank account, or two, they may not even really look at the numbers except maybe once a year or once every other year, if you will. Really what you want to be doing is adapting an iterative approach to say, okay, hey, let me come up with what I think will work. Let me track that for 2-3 months. Let me see what happens, and then let me adapt. And if you do that, you're going to accelerate your path to success.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So, Adrian, you're right here in Laurel. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite part about being connected right here in the Laurel community?
Yeah, we've served small businesses and individuals in Laurel, as I said, almost 50 years at this point. I may be biased, but I feel like the people in Laurel have a special degree of creativity, grit, caring, and so it really is a joy to have come into contact and to continue to come into contact with who we have. And the nonprofits you alluded to earlier as well. I feel like we have such a great concentration of people looking to make a difference and to do good things. So that's always energizing. Because being an entrepreneur can be a lonely prospect, and so I want to encourage business owners out there to reach out. I mean, the Laurel Board of Trade is an excellent example of that, of connect to other people that sort of are going through similar situations, maybe even are a couple steps on the path ahead of you, and they can help guide you. Because there really is a great network of people and quality of people here to sort of be a part of. And together we can create a thriving ecosystem of small businesses.
Totally agree. Well, tell me, Adrian, how can people connect with you if they want to learn more about working with Elements CPA?
Absolutely, yeah. So folks can reach out to our website, Elements, with an S, .cpa online. Something else, there's a Do We Fit page on that website, so you can take a look at that, see if we might be a good fit for the industries we serve, the types of businesses we work with. We also have a microblog, so it's micro.elements.cpa. That's a great way to get tips and tricks for small businesses, or even like different regulatory things coming through. Like right now, earlier this year, there was the beneficial owner reporting requirements, or the state legislature released some new tax laws. So you can find that in micro.elements.cpa. Last one, if I can throw in there, I'm looking for a new way I've been working on for a year or two to really help micro businesses. And so I'm putting together some packages for that, and it's going to be launched under a sort of sister brand, if you will, atomic.cpa. We're not launched yet, but there's a sign-up page at atomic.cpa if you'd like to get a heads up when that launches, hopefully later this year.
Awesome. Well, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us and just letting us know more about you, more about Elements CPA. It's really been great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Next up, we'll be talking with another Laurel Board of Trade member, Eileen Collins, owner and director at the Maryland Electrolysis Education Center.
We handle street repairs, tree trimming, tree replacement, stump grinding, tripping hazards, snow removal, basically anything that goes along inside, sidewalk to sidewalk, inside the city limits.
The only things we don't do is water, sewer, and electric. So besides that, we pretty much do everything.
Our service provides an essential need for the city residents. Having a smaller municipality, we have quicker response times. We're attentive to the smaller area. We're able to respond and react quicker to situations than dealing with a bigger, larger municipality.
Today I'm here with Eileen Collins, owner and director at the Maryland Electrolysis Education Center, training the next generation of licensed electrologists in permanent hair removal. Welcome, Eileen, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
So tell me, Eileen, what inspired you to open the Maryland Electrolysis Education Center, and what was that journey like?
Well, I've been a licensed electrologist since 1993. I've been in practice with my mom ever since then. During the pandemic, we could not work. We were shut down for 10 weeks. And as a recently widowed mom of a kid at an out-of-state college, the loss of income kind of hit me a little bit hard. And I realized that my only colleagues that were earning any money were the instructors. And so I decided during the pandemic that I needed to do something about that. We hadn't had a school in Maryland for electrolysis in about 20 years. So I went to get the education necessary to become an instructor, sat for my licensure, got that, and then I developed a curriculum which I then had to be approved by the Maryland Board of Nursing Electrology Practice Committee, and then started the process to open a private career school with the Maryland Higher Education Commission. So start to finish, that was May 2020 through December of 23 when I finally was able to open.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yep.
So sounds like you definitely worn a lot of hats.
Yes.
Business owner, instructor, advocate. What would you say drives your commitment to this work and the profession of electrology?
I really feel that an electrologist can make a difference in somebody's life. We see a lot of people with unwanted hair growth due to hormonal issues or transgender clients or gender expansive people looking to remove hair in preparation for surgery, and to be able to help them get rid of that hair helps them alleviate some dysphoria. And we can really just make a big impact on people's life. And also helping new electrologists starting out understand what kind of an impact we can have on other people's life. Really, it drives me and makes me want to teach more and more every day.
That's great. So for someone hearing about electrolysis, say for the first time, what makes it different from laser, and why is that important to offer this as a licensed educational pathway?
Well, first of all, electrolysis is the only form of permanent hair removal that's recognized by the FDA. The best any laser can claim is permanent hair reduction. With electrolysis, we apply a small amount of energy or current into the hair follicle. So we are going into a hair follicle, it's an opening that's already there, applying this energy, and it destroys the germinative cells that make the hair grow. So what happens is if an electrologist doesn't use a pre-sterilized probe or their equipment's not sterile, they could cause a lot of damage to somebody if they use too much energy, not enough energy. There could be some serious issues. So having it as a licensed profession, in my opinion, is necessary. Not every state in the U.S. license electrology as a profession, but Maryland does.
Wow, okay. Well, tell me about your school's program. Like, what is the program like, and what kind of student are you hoping to attract?
Our program is 650 hours. The first 250 is done online at the student's own pace, so that they're ready to basically have the practical knowledge once they come into the on-site portion, and that is 400 hours. So when they come in, they actually begin working right away on themselves and each other, and then once they hit a certain level, then they can begin working on models that come in from the community.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, so I mean, they're getting real experience.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yes.
And so tell us more about that. How can the community get involved to support that part of their training?
Well, actually right now we sort of have a wait list for models, but probably like late June, early July, we should be able to accommodate some more models to come in. But at the beginning, a student has to work on arms and legs. Once they hit about 60 hours of insertions, then they can move on to, say, underarms or bikini work or body work. After the next 40 hours, so they've now completed 100 insertion hours, then they are ready for face work. In a practice, most electrologists will see about 60 to 70% of their clients needing facial hair removal. So, you know, you could potentially do a lot of damage to the face if you were not careful. So we want to make sure they're really prepared before they hit that level.
Yeah, that makes sense. Total sense. So tell us briefly about your offices in Laurel and Columbia. How does executive electrolysis tie into the overall picture?
Well, I said I went into practice with my mom. My mom got her license when I was 12. And so I joined her in 1993. She primarily works out of our other Laurel location, which is off of 197 and Mallard Drive. And then I work out of our Columbia location, which is near the mall in Columbia. We practice, we work on people pretty much almost every day. Because there's a big demand for it. Most electrologists in Maryland have a waiting list. So this is why I am helping to develop the next generation.
I like that. Well, what's your favorite part about being rooted in the region and like specifically in Laurel?
Well, I grew up in Prince George's County in Beltsville, graduate of High Point. I did not move far. I've lived in Old Town Laurel for almost 30 years, raised my family here, have a business here. Our neighbors are fabulous. The people here are great. I've had a lot of support through the social media, Facebook pages in Laurel, just getting people, you know, to come in and help us out with models.
Okay.
It's just been wonderful.
So tell our audience here, how can people connect with you if they're interested in either becoming a student or a model?
They can check out our website, www.mdelectrolysiseducation.com. I know that's a mouthful. Or you can text or call 240-994-0306. And then we also have a social media, Instagram and a Facebook page, MD Electrolysis Education Center for both of them.
Awesome. Eileen, thanks so much for sharing with us today about yourself, about your business. It's really been great to learn about you.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us today. Now, if you have a business or organization and want to be featured, please reach out to us because we would love to learn more and shine the spotlight on you. You can send us a message on Facebook or go to our website, laurelboardoftrade.org. Also on our website, you can learn more about the Laurel Board of Trade and all the many benefits and events that we sponsor, including Main Street Festival, which was this past Saturday and is held each year the Saturday just before Mother's Day. We also invite you to join us for business networking every third Thursday of the month online, virtually, and in person once per quarter at one of our member businesses right here in Laurel. We have a powerful mix of business leaders that can help expand your network. Well, that's a wrap from the Laurel Board of Trade. Our tagline is small business, big ideas. Remember everybody, get out there and shop local. We will see you next time.